Welcome back. This is part six of our discussion of the geology of the Caribbean. This will be the last of the Greater Antilles. We will discuss the island of Jamaica. Please refer to the sketch map that I have done here for you so that you can see what I am talking about. Uh, the highest area of Jamaica is the Blue Mountain Range on the eastern part of the island. Uh, the Blue Mountains have a central ridge of metamorphic rocks surrounded by limestone. This central ridge is oriented in a northwest to southeast direction with extensions that project to the north and to the south. The highest elevation in Jamaica is within this Blue Mountain range, and it is called the Blue Mountain Peak at an altitude of 7,402 feet above sea level. I should point out to you that the Blue Mountains rise very quickly from the coastline. So in a distance of about 10 miles of horizontal distance, you go from sea level to this very, very high area. That gives rise to very, very steep gradients and very impressive landscapes. The John Crow Mountains lie to the north of the Blue Mountains, as you can see from the sketch diagram. Uh, Note that the John Crow Range is a tilted limestone plateau with elevations of about 3,300 feet. Now, the limestone plateau, which covers about two-thirds of Jamaica, lies to the west of the Blue Mountains in the central region. The high rolling plateau on the north forms what we call the Dry Harbor Mountains. Other high areas in Jamaica include the Nassau, Santa Cruz, Carpenters, Mocho, and Don Figueredo Mountains. Well, as you may have guessed, karst topography would be pervasive within the limestone plateau region. From the northern shore, the land rises in the form of gentle hills and continues into the high country. High cliffs are found along the southern shore. Now, keep in mind that Jamaica lies 90 miles from Cuba, separated by the deep waters of the Bartlett Trough or the Cayman Trench, if you will. Water depth would be in excess of 15,000 feet, and if you recall, it reaches depth over 21,000 feet just south of Cuba. The long and narrow peninsula of Haiti is 90 miles from Jamaica, where the water depth is about 4,000 feet. South of Jamaica, the water depth drops to about nearly 14,000 feet. Also, Jamaica and Honduras are about 900 miles apart. In terms of the geological historical development of Jamaica, no surprises here. It's pretty much what we have talked about earlier in terms of the historical development of the Greater Antilles. We can say that the basement rocks of Jamaica consist of island arc and back arc basic sequences of Cretaceous age that formed above a convergent plate boundary and the subduction zone that goes along with it. The overlying strata are mainly shallow water carbonates that have been subsequently uplifted. A late Cretaceous to Eocene orogeny affected the island. Cretaceous rocks are tightly folded and oriented in a northwesterly direction. We should note that in the Oligocene, about 80% of the island of Jamaica was submerged. During this time, extensive limestone units were deposited over the island. The east to west elongation of Jamaica is related to the late Miocene epirogeny and faulting. Land rose in the Miocene epoch along with intrusions of diorite as well as granite. Cross-faulting occurred in the Pleistocene. As far as the key lithologies for Jamaica go, we can break them down into Mesozoic and Cenozoic strata. Let's talk about the Mesozoic first. Uh, Basement rocks are covered by about 3,000 feet of volcanic material. Some Cretaceous, fossiliferous marl, and limestone are also to be found. In terms of Cenozoic strata, we can say that clastic sedimentary rocks of Eocene age also overlie the Cretaceous. Eocene rocks, as well as Oligocene strata, are essentially limestone with thicknesses of more than 1,500 feet. These carbonates do contain thick shell foraminifera that indicates water depth of greater than 1,000 feet. Well, Jamaica is also a beautiful island. The two photographs on this slide, the one on the left by Sean Witter, is the landscape near Spanish Town along the Rio Cobre, 13 miles west of the capital of Kingston. The photograph on the right is Dunn's River Falls at the foot of the Dry Harbor Mountains in the area of Ocho Rios. Well, this concludes our part 6, and this concludes our discussion of the Greater Antilles. We will now go into part 7, which will be the Bahamas and the Virgin Islands.